What's going on, everybody? And before we jump into the video, I'm gonna give you guys a quick sneak peek of what has been going on lately with my YouTube channel. YouTube is roughly flagging 40% of my videos incorrectly, and really the joy of working on YouTube has been trumped by the anxiety that I have to check YouTube every 3 hours or so to see if I'm getting robbed or not. Green means good, yellow means bad. So what I have done, inspired by the leap taken by my boy PC to combat the adpocalypse, I have started a Patreon page. It's something that's been suggested before. I've never felt the need to do it, but now, man, things are getting pretty rough. So the Patreon page is linked in the video description below. There's a bunch of awesome perks for you guys to be able to get involved with videos and the channel like never before. If you feel like supporting me there, I will be forever grateful, and it'll allow me to continue to make daily content for you guys. Thank you guys very much, and enjoy the video. What's going on, everybody? C4 here today, and we're going to be breaking in to our 10 things to keep an eye on for the Philadelphia Eagles' upcoming matchup against the Arizona Cardinals. For the weekend, these 10 things are going to be everything from bold predictions to matchups to how I feel the game's going to go. We will wrap up with, my MVP prediction for this game, which is definitely a winnable game against the Arizona Cardinals. And I might as well point at this point in the video, Eagles are the #1 seed in the NFC. But when you talk about a team with, outside of the NFC East that has caused the Philadelphia Eagles the most headaches, you might have to say it's the Arizona Cardinals. Since I've been a fan, the Phillies might have beat Arizona once. We played them like 10 times. I don't know. I'll get the exact numbers here in just a second. But, I mean, not only the Cardinals, but it's the guy that we're going to break into the number 10 point, and that is Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald is the Philadelphia Eagles killer. I know that he's 34. I know he's now a slot wide receiver opposed outside, but he's still a monster. He still puts up good stat lines. Little known fact. So Larry Fitzgerald has played 5, 6, 7, 8 games against the Philadelphia Eagles in his career. 8 games. Phillies beat them twice, so I stand corrected. Phillies been able to beat them in 2013 and 2008. So in 8 games, he's 6-2. And in those 8 games, Larry Fitzgerald has 6, 7, 8 games, over 800 total receiving yards. 10, 8, 9, 10, and 11 touchdowns. So in 8 games against the Philadelphia Eagles, he has more than 800 yards and 11 touchdowns. He is the bona fide Philadelphia Eagle killer. There's never been a player since I've been a fan that have caused as many headaches, as many nightmares in the pit of my stomach than seeing Larry Fitzgerald line up against a Philadelphia Eagles defensive back. And he's gone up against some good defensive backs. That would have been, he would have been John Asante Samuel during those times, maybe even Lito Shepard. Sheldon Brown, guys that have been serviceable, guys that have been fan favorites in the past, and Larry has made mincemeat out of them. Right now, you'd assume Patrick Robinson is covering Larry Fitzgerald in the slot, and to be completely fair, Patrick Robinson has played pretty well. I know he's graded out good from Pro Football Focus, and coming out of training camp, according to the beat writers, looks like Patrick Robinson was getting beat like a drum in training camp. Nelson Aguilar getting the better of him, Torrey Smith getting the better of him, but he's come in and played well in the slot. So I'm not saying I'm taking Pat Robinson in this one. I'm not saying I feel confident in Patrick Robinson to shut out Larry Fitzgerald. But, I'm personally, and I suggest for you Philadelphia Eagle fans, just be prepared. Even if we win this game 60-21, a blowout, Larry Fitzgerald, just be prepared for 130 yards, 2 touchdowns, because that's been his mantra throughout his career. I don't know what it is. Moving to number 9, the Arizona Cardinals do not have David Johnson, which means, in my opinion, the Philadelphia Eagles have no excuse not to win this game. Anytime a superstar player is missing, and David Johnson, bona fide superstar, debatably like 70-80% of that offense, he is not in that game. There is no excuse. Fletcher Cox not being in the game, not an excuse. Fletcher Cox to our defense isn't even as close. And Fletcher Cox is a monster, man. I love Fletcher Cox. And when he's in there, man, he is a game changer. A game changer, yes. But when you look at what David Johnson can bring to that Cardinals offense, a guy that can get 2,000 yards from scrimmage a year, an absolute monster, a wide receiver in a running back's body, that loss means I don't even care if we don't have Fletcher Cox. You still have to win this game. They are at the biggest disadvantage you're ever going to get. And this Philadelphia Eagles team, that's #1 seed in the NFC. They're 3-1. Ambitions of going to the playoffs and potentially doing some damage. When a team is wounded like the Arizona Cardinals without David Johnson, you have got to punish them. You have got to make the most of your opportunities. And I don't know, man. I think in this battle of the C4s versus the Param Crows, without David Johnson, Philly has to end up winning this game. Go number 8, kind of talking about what we just said. There's going to be no Fletcher Cox this week. Maybe we might get him back next week if we're optimistic. But Timmy Jernigan, who did pick up, I believe it was an ankle sprain or something like that, should be good to go. And Jernigan's an absolute monster, man. Timmy Jernigan is a beast, but not really surprising. But Bo Allen, who started for Fletcher Cox, he played well, man. I'm pretty sure he had a sack on Phillip Rivers last week. And, you know, he's good enough. Really, Bo Allen is the kind of guy that there's plenty of teams in the NFL that he would be a starter on right now at the defensive tackle spot. He's known against the run, underrated against the pass. I'm not saying that he's going to be a Pro Bowler by any means, but he's the kind of guy, it's not a liability. It's not like we have a gaping hole in the defensive line. You can sub in Vinny Curry there if you need to. Destiny Vaeo, good rotational guy. But Bo Allen starting majority of our snaps. It's not just like, I don't know what to say. Like, it's, you know, I don't know. It's not night and day, though. It's not like, oh, my God, Fletcher's not out there, so they just got to attack. They got to run the ball because, you know, whoever's going to be playing next to Jernigan is not even comparable to Fletcher Cox. Bo Allen can come in and do a serviceable job, so it definitely sucks that we're not at full strength, but, you know, without David Johnson, I guess you could probably say this could be a game we don't need a Fletcher Cox in there, even though you can always, you know, use and want a Fletcher Cox. It's not like David Johnson's in this game, and then we're down Fletcher Cox. That'd be a different story. Go number 7 is Alshon Jeffrey, and this on the draw, I wish we had a big old spin wheel of elite cornerbacks that he has to play to start his Philadelphia Eagles career, going up against Patrick Peterson. And when I saw the schedule released, I was like, man, Alshon, you know, he might get the better of like a Janoris or a Josh Norman because he's just the different type of receiver, the big body guy. I was like, Patrick Peterson is the kind of guy that could absolutely shut down Alshon Jeffrey, match him for size, match him for speed, match him for strength. Well, I mean, he doesn't have a whole lot of speed. That is Alshon, of course. So in my opinion, this is the toughest matchup all year on paper. So that means obviously watch Alshon go up like 200 yards or whatever. But I guess this comes back to the point where a lot of Philadelphia Eagle fans right now are chirping Alshon Jeffrey for the lack of stats. And man, he's making plays. There's a reason why Zach Ertz is having the year he is. It's because the top, you know, you have to, you know, delegate guys to cover Alshon, guys to take Alshon out of the game. He's gonna draw the top wide receiver, and then also you're gonna have guys that have to drop safeties out. They're gonna have to get double teams, and because of those double teams, that's why you're seeing guys like maybe Nelson Aguilar, but not so much in particular, much more Zach Ertz getting wide open on those third downs, being wide open and getting up the stat lines he is. So I'm not chirping Alshon Jeffrey. I mean, next week we play the Panthers in primetime. I want to see a big game out of him there. I want to see at least 100 yards and a TD against the Panthers. But this week here, man, you know, just battle against Patrick Peterson. Make sure, you know, if Carson throws a 50-50 ball and Pat Pete's going to get his hands on it, you can get up there and deflect it away, which Alshon is really, really good at. And then, you know, like I said, 50-50. It's 50-50 ball game when you go up against an elite corner. Just he makes a play, you make a play. You know what I'm saying? But talking on the corners goes to point number 6 is attack Justin Bethel, who's playing like Bradley Fletcher. Now, I haven't watched a whole lot of Cardinals games. I watched a little bit of the game against the 49ers because my buddy's a Niners fan, and obviously I watched their primetime matchup against the Dallas Cowboys. And more so against Dallas, Bethel was getting beat like a drum. So who's going to be the guy at wide receiver 2 that can step up for Philly? Right now, Torrey Smith is playing really, really bad, really looking like he got Nelson Aguilar's hands. He's dropping everything left, right, and center. And a point that I don't know if I want to talk about it right now. I've had it for quite a while. Is where Doug's being a player coach. He's loyal to a fault. You're kind of seeing with more so Chance Warmack. You know, the kind of thing where like you're announced in the preseason as a starter and things aren't going well. Seems like Doug's kind of, because he's a player coach, he's the guy that's in the locker room, the rah guy. He's hesitant to make that move because it seems like I don't want to hurt Chance's feelings, even though Wiz is a much better player right now. Let's give Chance a couple snaps here and there because I just don't have the heart to tell him he's not starting. So the same kind of goes with Torrey Smith. Torrey Smith has played absolute butt cheeks. Aguilar's look good. Mac Hollins has looked good, but those guys still aren't getting snaps because you have Torrey Smith on the field. So from one side of things, yeah, you have an easy matchup in Justin Bethel, but if Torrey Smith in the first quarter or two can't get things going, have drop passes, isn't taking advantage of that matchup, throw in Nelson Aguilar. More importantly, throw in Mac Hollins, 6'4", big body guy that can make plays. Hasn't had a bad play yet when the limited playing time that he's had. Do that, but because you have to attack Justin Bethel, and I think that will be a big-time key to the success of the Eagles in this game. Go number 5 is the Arizona Cardinals offensive tackles aren't playing well. Jared Velda here got absolutely murdered by DeMarcus Lawrence in that game against Dallas. Looks like literally, I mean, DeMarcus Lawrence is on fire right now. Don't get me wrong, but Velda is no slouch. He's a solid tackle. Was good in Oakland. Has been good for a couple years there in Arizona. He was getting murdered. He was getting pushed back in every play. Looked like every QB pressure was coming from his side. So with that being said, Brandon Graham needs to get some production. Brandon Graham is solid. I think he's really good. I think he certainly is fringe elite defensive end. I don't know if he's warranted bringing it into a Madden standpoint of his 97 in Madden. But Brandon Graham, I'm sick and tired of him being the Pro Football Focus darling. Well, his stats are kind of hidden. He's making plays elsewhere. No, get some damn sacks. Get some stuff that's tangible. You know what I'm saying? Get your damn sacks. I don't care that you're getting, oh, well, he's hurting the quarterback into bad plays. That's still, what's that mean? Is he going to make a tough throw? That means there's going to be an incompletion. I want the sack yards. I want them to face 3rd and long, 2nd and long, not just consistently saying, well, you know, he's getting his hands in there pretty good. He's getting his hands in there better than any other defensive end. I want to see production, and if you're going to be matched up against Jared Veld here, give me a damn sack. Going on number 4, just a quick bold prediction. John Brown from Pitt State Gorillas. I think he's healthy. He's back, ready for this game. I think he'll get one long touchdown on a blown coverage play, kind of similar to a play like Keenan Allen, how he got free for the Chargers last week. It's just something I see in a vision, a frustrating play. Hopefully, I don't have in my crystal ball here when that's gonna happen. So hopefully, maybe that's 4th quarter garbage time. I don't know. Moving to point number 3. The Carson Wentz to Zach Ertz combination has been excellent, and if I'm Carson Wentz, I would not be afraid of going to the well too many times. They have some decent linebackers there, but they have inexperience in Hassan Riddick, and they have an old dude in Carlos Dansby. Both those guys you got to be conscientious of, but I mean, you know, there's going to be space back there because of that scheme they run. I mean, Chandler Jones is not going to drop back into coverage. Marcus Golden, isn't he out for the year? So they're down a couple guys there on Arizona. So that means the middle of the field is going to be wide open for Mr. Zachary Ertz. I mean, what are they going to do? They got to try to put Honey Badger on him? I like Honey Badger as much as the next guy. One of my favorite players in the NFL. Not a good matchup against Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz is like a foot taller. In the way that, you know, how on fire and how good that combination has, I would not be afraid of just, not going to say necessarily just outright forcing the ball to Zach Ertz, but feed him, man. Absolutely feed him. Go to number 2 is commit to the run. Arizona was great against the run for the most part. I mean, the first half they shut out Ezekiel Elliott and the Dallas Cowboys, but they wore down. They wore down. That's I don't know what that is, if that comes down to them, but I mean, they don't have Calais Campbell. They have a, you know, banged up defense, so can commit to that run. And then LeGarrette Blount in the second half can have a big game because, you know, that's what has been key to victory for the Philadelphia Eagles these last couple of games. Against the Giants, we ran the ball more. Against the Chargers, we ran the ball more. And it was looking good, man. And LeGarrette Blount, after that beastquake, I think morale is high. I am not a big fan of Deuce Staley's rotation, but with Wendell Smallwood picking up an injury a little bit, I don't know if he's going to play yet. I'm recording this on Thursday night. I don't know what his status is going to be. But, yeah, man, I think LeGarrette Blount is riding a lot of momentum. And after that beastquake he had, I would definitely feed him the ball a lot. Even if it's not working in the first half, Doug, don't abandon it because it will be there in the second half. And lastly, number 1 is execute on 3rd downs. I'm sick and tired of the field goals. I like Jake Elliott as much as the next guy. I think Jake Elliott has surpassed Caleb Sturgis as our kicker of the future. And I'm going to say that as a very overreactionary call. But, you know, as much as I like seeing him get out there, Jake the Snake is what we kind of called him and gave him that nickname on Twitter because of not because he's a wrestler, not because he's a snake in the grass, but, you know, got that third leg power, if you know what I'm saying. But, you know, we got to execute, man. We should have blown out the Chargers, but we had to settle for field goal after field goal after field goal. And a team like the Cardinals, they're built like the Chargers. The Chargers, when we shut down Melvin Gordon, what were they going to do? They're a big play offense. They had Tyrell Williams, big, tall, speed guy. They had Keenan Allen, tall, speed guy. What is the Arizona Cardinals pretty much? Outside of Larry Fitzgerald, who can work between the chains, which we definitely got to keep an eye on, they're just deep balls. John Brown, whoever, Andre Ellington, just guys with the backfield. Deep balls and gimmicky passes is what makes the Cardinals so good and what's made Bruce Arians such a good coach. So if you have to keep settling for field goals, it's going to be one of those things where we're dominating the first half again. Oh my God, the Cardinals have gone 3-and-out, 3-and-out, 3-and-out. But we have 9 points because every drive we've had, we've dominated them, but we had to settle for a field goal, and then you just watch it. Oh, look, John Brown got a deep touchdown. They had one play go their way, and they're right back in it. You know what I'm saying? Very much the mantra of the first half against the Chargers, where we dominated, absolutely dominate the Chargers. And then we had to settle for field goal, and then out of nowhere they got, what, it was like a 70-some yard touchdown to, was it Tyrell Williams? This was either Tyrell Williams or Keenan Allen. And they're right back in the game. And that is how I think that if you're a Cardinals fan, that's how you're going to get back into this. You're going to need to hold some field goals and get the big play, which, you know, as much as I do want to cheer for our corners, the big play has been there from time to time. But overall, I think this is a very winnable game. But I'm going to still have the the fog, the musk, the stench of a trap game, because historically the Cardinals have come to play against Philly and have been able to put a hurting on us. But if I was a betting man, I would bet on the Philadelphia Eagles to win this in a high-scoring battle. MVP for this game, if the Philadelphia Eagles do win, it is going to be Carson Wentz, and not necessarily so much for the huge stat line, but for the way he's going to have to manipulate the teams, how he played pretty much against the Chargers. Carson Wentz did not have the biggest stat line against the Chargers, didn't have 300-plus yards, yada, 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 but he made the plays he needed to get us the victory, and that's not even a cop-out to like, oh, like a Joe Flacco stat line where, oh, he had 109 yards, you know, no turnovers. No, Wentz made big plays, big crucial third down plays, but he wasn't forcing the ball, and, you know, he was taking the, playing like Tom Brady when Tom Brady's not playing in a shootout, and then someone's got to take that out of context already. Like, oh, Steve Ford thinks Carson Wentz is Tom Brady, but for those of you that don't want to troll, you know what I'm saying. So that's why I'm going Carson Wentz to the MVP. Let me know what you guys think about this game against the Arizona Cardinals in the comment section below. Smash the like button if you're hyped. This is your first time stopping by. Don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, it's C4 saying fly, Eagles, fly.